Star Wars Vintage fans and Vintage Toy subscribers. Thanks for joining me today and tuning in. What we're looking at today is the two Star Wars Vintage Cantina playsets. Now, as you guys know, I'm on a mission. I'm showing you every single vintage toy from 3 3/4 inch and more ever made. And today I've got a couple of ripper playsets. So we've got the Cantina playset, and then we've got the Cantina Adventure playset, which is a Sears exclusive. Now, let's start with the Kenner, just the normal Kenner version, and then we'll move on to this one a little bit later. Now, this guy was available, I know, in Australia at retail. I didn't purchase it, but I purchased it a few years later after retail, quite cheap, and I loved it. It was really cool. You could put all your Cantina characters in there, and what we'll do, we'll bring them in now, so we've got a few of them handy. So, you know, you can pop your Hammerhead, your Snaggletooth, your Horseman, Greedo, etc. Such a cool little playset. Had a couple of little features about it, nothing overly over the top, but very cool. And I don't have one at the moment actually. I've downsized my display, so I don't have space for it. But I always used to have a Dewback next to it, kind of parked outside with a few Stormies, a couple of droids outside because they don't get served in here. They don't serve that bloody coin in here. And then a few of the Cantina dudes here, a couple of Stormies, Chewie and Han, and you can obviously find out the answer to the age-old question, who shot first. We know who shot first, but we can recreate that beautiful scene there when Han blows Greedo away and somehow squeezes his gun under there without knowing while he's kicking back. And Greedo's yapping on about how he's going to cash in the bounty with Jabba. Anyway, let's have a quick look at this playset. And again, I don't have a box example with this one, so I'll grab an image of the box. I did sell one a little while ago, so I'm pretty sure I got an image somewhere saved. I'll pop an image up here somewhere and have a look at the beautiful box artwork. It's nothing spectacular. It's got most of these guys there, and it's got a little kid's face, I believe, playing with them, going like that, which is cool. Reminds me of a guy, Lee Harris, if anyone out there, if you're watching, mate. He recreated the Death Star, Tortoise Death Star picture with himself, and it was pretty funny. Anyway, yeah, it's pretty there, I guess. So let's have a look at the Cantina. We'll grab the figures off quickly and let's have a look at what it came with, etc. So it came with a cardboard backdrop. This is one of the first couple of playsets from A New Hope. There weren't too many playsets. I think you had the Droid Factory, you had the Cantina, you had the Cannon Death Star. What am I forgetting? There may be another one. There weren't too many playsets with A New Hope. They kind of kicked off a little bit with Empire and onto Jedi. But this is pretty basic, but I reckon cool, very iconic. It's got a backdrop which has got the band members, which, as you guys know, they didn't make those figures in the vintage 3 3/4 inch line, which is a damn shame because they were cool characters. They've obviously gone on with some of the modern lines to make every single bloody character imaginable, I believe now. So it's got a little bar, it's got the table where Greedo and Han sit, and then it's got a couple of little stands which you can, put your figures on, and what I'll do is I'll pop them on there. I've got mine on little protect display thing, so you can put your figures on your little stand. There's little levers to moving them around. A couple of the playsets have them. Dagobah's got them. A couple of the Hoth playsets have them. Got Greedo there, and they move around. And then there's a little, which figure I can't allow to fall over my red snag. There's a little kind of lever there, like a little lever on the ground there. So you can stand Greedo there, and if you move them around enough, they click it and pop it, and they make them fall like that mid-shot. Bang! Which we'll obviously going to recreate this famous scene in a moment. But yeah, so it's got a couple of those little levers, and then it's got a little doors, which they come with a lucky band initially, 2 small lucky bands that tie this and give this pressure. So when you push this button here, there's a little button there, the doors fling open when you, which one is it? There's a little button here, and you push that button down there, the doors fling open, but the lucky bands disintegrate over time. I haven't replaced them with anything other than that, so there's no pressure on there. So when you push that button, they fling open like that. So, kind of like little barn doors. Like I said, there's not much to this playset. It's more for looks. The playability, it's okay, but it's pretty ragged like the cardboard. If you're playing with it too much, you're going to ruin this. This is a lovely example. This cardboard hasn't been inserted into the base as much as a lot of the ones I've seen in the past. So, this one's in quite good condition. And then, yeah, you can have a little barman here, serving some drinks. Horseman's going to serve Red Snag a drink. Who barely gets over the counter, have a look over the counter. And then you got some levers over here for the scene that I was referring to earlier, which we will recreate now. So, we have Han Solo here. Now, obviously I'll quickly go into the you know what I'm talking about here. But in the initial version of New Hope, Greedo is just waffling on, getting ready to talking about how he's going to turn Han Solo into Jabba for the bounty and how everyone's chasing him, whatever. And meanwhile, Han Solo's under the counter getting his gun ready, and then he just goes, blows him away and smokes him. But then when they released that special edition, which I've spoken about in a couple of my other videos, they released a special edition. They feel the need to make Han Solo look like he was defending himself and wasn't the first person to shot and didn't smoke Greedo in cold blood, even though he was caught and about to be turned into Jabba, turned over to Jabba. So they made it look like Greedo shot first, and it's pretty bad. Greedo shoots like this, and they've re-imaged Han to go like this, and then Han smokes him. So it's pretty lame, and I don't know why they did that. They were trying to make Han Solo not look like the antagonizer, the aggressor, and more defending himself. But hey, so stupid. He's a smuggler, man. He's broken the law his entire career. That's how he made his money, and he's pretty much a criminal. As you go on to see, even in the sequels after, in Force Awakens and whatnot, he's swindled every man, he's dog out of money, he's just about every single person money. It's what he does. He's a gangster. So I'm pretty sure he would have smoked a couple of bounty hunters at the time. He's made a lot of enemies, so pretty silly. They did it. I think special editions, there were a couple of cool features. I'm ranting again, and I do that. A couple of cool features in a couple of them, but for the most part, some of the main changes, big changes they made, really sucked. And this was ridiculous. You see t-shirts with people saying hand shot first and hand shot first. Look it up if you must know of it if you're a Star Wars vintage collector, or even not even vintage. If you know anything about Star Wars, you've heard that hand shot first and people petitioning for it. Anyway, let's move on back to the playset. There's my little rant about special edition. So there's a little similar lever like I showed you with here. Let's just put Greedo on it and push it down. So Greedo is going to be on the lever. He's telling Han, mate, you're going away, buddy boy. I'm taking all that money, mate. Meanwhile, he doesn't know Han's pulling his gun out. And when we pull that lever, what's going to happen here? Oh, I did the wrong way. He didn't focus. The cardboard thing's holding him. Let's try again. Sorry, that was real bad recreation of putting him sideways, so he fall sideways. So like I said, the playability of this, I didn't even get to click it. I've got to do it, man. I've got you guys here. I'm here. He's lost his blaster, so this one's going to be without a blaster. This is really cringing out hard, but let's try it again. Oh, he's gone sideways. Hey, here he goes, and he took Han with him. Alright, so like I said, the playability wasn't there that much. There's not many features to this, but very cool looking playset. I reckon it displays really, really well. It's kind of a dull colour, but that's what it was. And all the figures, all the Cantina figures really snap against that colour. I think the colours pop. Greedo looks sick. They all look really good. And when you get a nice white Stormy in there, which, why not, let's do it. You get a really gorgeous Snow White Stormy on it. And I've always said white figures make anything pop. And that looks beautiful against Cantina colours. So that was a Cantina version of the Cantina. So let's just move them over to the side there. I may well need those figures because I'll talk about now the Sears Cantina Adventure Set. So this was available by Sears, also a box. I don't have a box example. I've only ever sold, I think, this is probably only the third one I've ever had of this. It doesn't pop that much up in Australia because Sears was not in Australia. It was a US company. And these don't pop up too much over here, so here it is. It was cardboard, basic cardboard. A couple of pieces of cardboard, and it had a whole bunch of figure stands. Now this one is incomplete. I don't have the stands, but I don't know if you're familiar with the Cloud City playset. It's very similar. They're little white pegs that pop through the holes, and they fit from the bottom of a 3 3/4 inch figure, so they send up a little peg for the figure to stick on. So it's very, very basic playset, right? Well, I've got credit here. It's a very basic playset. Piece of cardboard and however many pegs, 3, 6, 12 pegs, I think. Anyway, this one has got, someone's taken a Darth Vader case name tags and popped them over the pegs, so that did not come with this playset. So someone's popped them on there, which is pretty random, but also very cool. So like I said, there's not much to it, but the big thing was, it came with 4 bagged figures. So it came with Greedo, came with Hammerhead, there goes my hand, big head. It came with Walrus Man, and it came with Snaggletooth, but difference here is Didn't come with a red Snaggletooth. Ah! Sorry, these bloody peg holes are the wrong size for that figure. I think it's a G1. It didn't come with red Snaggletooth, which is a little mini red snag we all know and love, which is available on. It is, funnily enough, you can get this guy. It did come available in Kennebags. But we all know him on New Hope cards, Empire Jedi cards as well. Came with a blue snag, which was Sears exclusive. Now, I believe the story behind it was they were creating the figure, adding the figure from artwork or an explanation or something, and it wasn't from a still of the movie. It was that didn't have the whole body, so I don't know how they ended up getting the colour, where it came from, to be honest with you. But this is where the beautiful and very heavily sought after blue Snaggletooth comes from. The only way to acquire this figure, which is spectacular and everyone loves, very, very sought after, the only way you would have got that was to buy this playset, and he came Kennebags. So there must have been a lot of these, because there are a lot of blue Snaggletooths available. Like, I've come across so many blue Snaggletooth beaters, nice condition ones. I've had a few bagged ones. So this playset must have been created in pretty bloody heavy, big numbers. So like I said, it was just a cardboard playset. It was in a cardboard box. I've got a pic up here right now of the box for you to show you. It's very cool as well. And it's actually got a picture of blue snag on the box, which is real cool as well. So like I said, the feature, the highlight of this playset, in hindsight, going back now, is the creation of blue Snaggletooth. Now, he's one of my favourite figures. I've mentioned before, I've got a story behind this guy. This guy is so very difficult to get with paint on the boots in nice condition, and I took that figure stand off so slowly because the paint on the peg holes starts fraying. There's a number of things go wrong with this figure. Now I'm obviously talking about the figure more so than the playset. There's a number of things go on with this figure. This figure very susceptible to the body turning like a greenish, a discoloration, darker, much darker, and quite an ugly green actually, to the limbs. So you see this with a real greeny kind of greeny blue body, and then these colour limbs. So that happens a lot. Obviously the paint on the hands, it's hard to get him super mint. I don't often take that blaster out. And the paint on that silver on the boots, there's two variants of this figure. There's a no dent and a dent. I've got the toe dent one. I might even put pictures of both on there on this video just to show you guys while we're talking about the snag. But yeah, those boots are so hard to get perfect. A lot of people touch them up. You often see these for sale, and one of them just looks like it's brand new. It's often too good to be true. I've been touched up with some kind of silver paint or something or other. Get yourself, if you don't have one, a blue light, a little UV light. They sell them at electronics or a couple of those electronic stores. They're about $12 or $15. They're the best money you can spend ever. The little tiny black thing, they take 2 or 3 AAA batteries, and they bring up paint which has been applied to vintage figures. It's also excellent. I'm going to do a video on this, but I'll just quickly bring it up. It's also excellent for determining reseals on vintage carded figures. You can see where glue's been, and if someone's touched up the card back with black outline marker, often people will use litho tears and colour in litho tears. That picks them up and they just glow. So that's the best $15 worst case you're ever going to spend. Oh, we're going to do a video just on them because they're spectacular. But anyway, I'll go back, like I said, I rant on. This figure's so hard to get, beautiful condition, and I've got a story behind mine. To get this figure, I searched everywhere. I didn't want to buy a beta and just keep upgrading him and have it in placeholder. I just wanted to get a nice mint one. I looked everywhere, it's impossible to find. I've even had bagged ones where the paint from the foot rubs off on the inside of the bag and it's not mint. But yeah, this one I've checked over with, it's 100% genuine. I wanted this guy's blue Snaggletooth. He wouldn't sell it to me. He insisted the only way I could get this figure off him was to buy his entire collection. So, long story short, I bought his entire collection for 4,000 Australian dollars. This is 10 years at least, maybe longer ago. 4K. It was most of the figures. I think maybe a couple of last 17s. It wasn't a full collection, but most of the figures, blue snag and a couple of last 17s. Anyway, I bought that. Only figure I kept was this, and I think after I sold them all, I recouped about $3,800. So this guy, maybe $3,850, I can't remember. I've got it written down somewhere, but I can't find it for the life of me, which is a shame. So this figure only ended up costing me $150 Australian, which is bloody cool because it's a near on $1,000 figure in that condition now. Maybe just under, or depends who's buying really. But yeah, so I got this guy super cheap, and obviously I'm going to keep him forever. If grading Was local. I might even consider having that graded, but grading's not my thing. I would not send my toy. That's another debate, but I'm not going to send my toy overseas. Just for someone to tell me it's an 85 or a 90 or whatever it is, I'm happy to say it's C9.5 and I'm not selling it, so who cares? It's graded on it. When the time comes, if I ever do sell it, my children sell it, it'll be worth a bit, hopefully, and they go from there. Anyhow, that's my story on the Blue Snag. So this was a Sears Mail Away Cantina adventure set. Pretty lame compared to this one, I think. But again, both of them are more, they call play sets, but they're not really play sets, interactive play sets for mine. They're more set up for me, backdrop play sets. And that might go to that being one of the first ones they did, and they didn't quite have a concept. You look at the Cantina Death Star, that's also in the Star Wars line. That's hell playable. It's 3 levels, and it's got all kinds of features on it: bridges, swing ropes, exploding this, a sick Dianoga, trash compactor foam, all kinds of stuff. That had a hell playability compared to this, so maybe they learned a lesson. That is the 2 different Cantinas, a very big difference. This guy that came with no figures, available worldwide. This guy's just Sears only. And you got your Blue Snag, 4 Canada bagged figures, Blue Snaggletooth being one. Fantastic collector's item, and thank God they got that wrong, to be honest, when they released it, because they brought this cool, super cool variant into everyone's lives, and everyone chases it, and everyone loves it. That is the Cantinas. Which one do you like? Which one do you love? Do you hate them both? I like them, like I said. I don't think the play value was there as a kid for either of them. This one it had a little bit more play value, but for me they were more a collector's playset where you pop it on your cabinet, pop some figures in there, make a little diorama, and they look sick. That's what I think they're great for. In that case, I do really like this playset. I'm going to give this close to a 10. Like, I love it, just for the appeal of for collectors. Pop it in your cabinet. It's always good to mix your collection, just instead of just having loose figures, just Carter figures, and mix in a few vehicles or a playset or whatever, just to break it up a bit. And that's a good way to showcase. Probably you can get a good 15 figures, probably maybe even 20, with a couple of extra storm years, Dewback at all that kind of thing. You can get 15, 20 figures looking in their place around that, which is really cool. This one here, it's near the end or there. I would never own this. It's very expensive also, this playset. This one is missing the pegs, has stickers on it, and it's got a fair bit of wear, and it's probably still worth $300 or $400. So yeah, I'm not chasing a mint one, that's for sure, and it doesn't do too much for me, but I'll give this guy you have to give it 2 different grades. If you go grade by itself, you give it probably a 6, but when you consider what it came with, it's 10 out of 10, isn't it? Completely different story. So anyway, there's a couple more play sets that I've showed you. Hopefully, maybe you didn't know something, maybe you know more than me. If you do, please. I don't know everything. If you know something that I don't, chuck it in a comment. I'd love to know it. I'm a sponge with all this stuff where possible. I'd love to know about variants, supply numbers, anything, released, whatever, anything you got that I haven't mentioned, I want to know, please tell me. I love knowing it. The more you know, the better. It's a bloody massive, massive hobby. I've been collecting these buggers for 40 years, give or take, I reckon, and I would probably even know a bloody 10th of it all. It's incredible how deep this hobby is. Just Star Wars Vintage. Then you go bloody talk about Jar Joe's mask and He-Man, and there's variants all over the place. There's factories here and there, and you can never know it all, and that's the best part of it. You're always learning, so you're always stimulated. You're never gonna, if you do it slowly, enjoy it, you'll be this forever. That's me. That's where I'm at. Hopefully you stay with it forever as well, because then I've got someone to dribble toy crap with for the rest of my life. Otherwise, I don't know if my kids will, or younger people will say, keep into it, guys, and when you get bored, get into variants. Oh yeah, Kenner made masks, Kenner made superpowers. Go buy them, stay in the vintage world, don't sell your stuff, keep it. Thanks for watching, guys. You know I dribble toys, I can't stop, because why would I want to? Please, if you haven't subscribed already, just click subscribe. It's free. You can see all my content. I do a lot of toy reviews, a lot of toy drops when I get stuff in, mail calls, all kinds of stuff. I'll have a massive giveaway for my 2,000 subscriber. That's a little while away still, but I'll do a massive giveaway for that. So keep watching, guys. Enjoy your toys. Have a bit of a laugh. It's all light-hearted here. Please enjoy.